Hey there, are you still struggling to find a trading model? Still confused with how to time the market with one model? Well, I have a model for you that comes with built-in
Wow.
patience. Yes, I'm not joking. Over the time, I've found that this model repeats quite a lot in certain times, and I call it macro with breaker block concept. So let's dive into today's video and we'll talk a lot about how it forms and how to look for it. Let's go. So before I take you through live examples, let's talk about the basic structure of a breaker block. In a breaker block, we see a higher high and then price goes through that old higher high and generates a new higher high as a form of stop hunt. And eventually when price comes down and goes through the last swing low as a market structure shift, we focus at that fractal of price action. We focus at these last down close candles, and these last down close candles becomes our breaker block. So in a breaker block, price gives you two chances of entry. Once price goes through the breaker block and closes the candle's body below it, you can enter at the second candle, and the second entry that it gives when price retraces back to the breaker block again and then drops. There are some rules to follow if you are choosing breaker block as your model or if you are executing with a breaker block. The first rule is time. Time will have to match with this setup. We look for this setup in certain times, not every day, not all day. The second rule is price must hit a premium PDRA for shorts. Price must hit a discount PDRA if you are looking for long ideas. The third rule is candle's body closure below or above breaker block. So the third rule is confusing for some of you because you don't want to enter after a price closes candle's body below it. But if you're a beginner, you should not enter before price closes the candle's body below it because you don't have the experience that is required to do that, to take aggressive entry. If you're a beginner, you should take every low risk entry with high probability setup. So let's dive into our first example. So our this example will be in a bearish scenario. Don't worry, I'll take you into another example that shows a bullish scenario. So just before I start, it's a tip. Just remember that when price generates equal high and equal low, it becomes a strong level of liquidity and price likes to come back to these levels and clean it out. So for our breaker block to get activated, we have some rules that we talked about, right? Time, and then the premium or discount PDRA, and the third rule was a candle's body closure below the breaker block. So we will look for these rules in this example. So let's see what price does. So first, price will have to go through a old high, right? So that's the old high. Let's see if price goes through this higher high and generates a new higher high. Yes, price went through this higher high and generated a new higher high. Our second rule was price will have to hit a premium PD area if you are looking for shorts. So what do we have here? We have a fair value gap right here as a premium PD area. Why is it a premium? Because it's in a premium zone, right? It can be an order block, volume imbalance. That doesn't matter. The thing that matters is that your PD area will have to be in a premium zone. So our fair value gap is in a premium zone. So let's see if price retraces back from this fair value gap. Yes, we saw a retracement from this fair value gap. So now we will have to look that if price matches with our time, because we look for this setup in specific zones in specific times. For me, I look for these setups 4 times in a day. I only trade on AM session, AM New York session. So the first zone that starts, it's from 8:20 to 8:30. The second zone is from 9:20 to 9:30. The third zone is 9:50 to 10:10, and the fourth zone is 10:50 to 11:10. I call it as a macro. First two times, these are my personal model. Other two are approved by ICT himself. So let's see if price goes through these last down close candles and closes the candle's body below it, right? So let's go to the 1 minute time frame. So now I'm in a 1 minute chart, and that's our premium PDRA from the 5 minute chart, right? That's a higher time frame PDRA that price hit. Price did a stop hunt here. That was our 5 minute stop hunt. And now that we are in a lower time frame, we can see more stop hunt here. Price created a swing high here, and then price went above the swing high and hit that premium PDRA, right? So we can refine our trade idea in this 1 minute chart. This gray shaded area that you see, that's our 5 minute breaker block, right? But as we came down onto the 1 minute chart, we can refine our trade idea, and we can look for the last down close candles right here, right? Why am I refining my trade idea? Because I'm on 1 minute time frame. Before I was on 5 minute time frame, and this swing high was not visible on 5 minute time frame. As soon as I came down to the 1 minute time frame, I saw this swing high right here, right? And price went above this swing high, so price did a stop hunt again on lower time frame here. So these down close candles that you see right here becomes our breaker block, right? So our first rule was time will have to match with our setup, and I told you I look for this setup in 4 times. Our first zone was 8:20 to 8:30, and now look at the time here. The indicator that I'm using is from 2 degrees, so you can go and check out his Twitter account and you can find this macro indicator. So our time is 8:20 to 8:35, right? And we look for the setup in between this time zone, right? So for our setup to get valid, we need a candle's body closure below this down close candle. So let's see if price does what we are looking for. Yes, price did close the candle's body below the breaker block, right? So if you are following our rule allows us to engage the second candle, right? As soon as price closes the first candle below the breaker block, we can engage the second candle. So I push the button. That's the second candle. Now let's see if price shows willingness towards the downside. Yes, look at the rejection in price from this breaker block, right? Isn't it beautiful? And we have these relative equal lows, right? As a sell side liquidity from 5 minute chart. Do you guys remember it was visible on 5 minute chart? So that's our nearest liquidity pool. We can take a partial here. So as soon as price went below this zone, we can take a partial here, or you can take we can close the trade. So now that we are on 1 minute time frame, this small movement in price action can give you very high reward. So if I measure this trade idea, right, our stop loss can be right above the breaker block, and our target can be the nearest level of liquidity. So that's a 2R, 1.9R. That's not bad. And if you are still holding and targeting the 5 minute fair value gap, there's a fair value gap right here, right? That is unfilled, and that is in a discount zone. So that's a plus fair value gap, and it's in a discount zone, right? So we can take a partial here. Now let's go back to the 1 minute chart, and if you are holding until this fair value gap, right, this becomes a 3R trade. So in a breaker block concept, price will minimum, if your trade idea is correct, price will give you at least 2R, and for me I got like 4R so many times from this breaker block concept. So let's dive into our next example, and our next example is on bullish scenario. In our last example, I took you on 5 minute and then 1 minute chart, but on this example I'm showing you to on 3 minute chart. time frame for this model doesn't matter. You can execute on 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, but your rules must have to align with the structure, otherwise it won't work. So what do you see here? Price came down, price offered sell side liquidity right here, and this sell side liquidity was in discount range, right? And it matches with our second rule. Price will have to be in a discount PD array if we are looking for long trade ideas, right? So price did a stop hunt here, and price did another stop hunt again here. So where is our breaker block? These last up close candles that you see right here, this becomes our breaker block. And if you consider a big swing range, if you consider this whole fractal, right, these last up close candles becomes our breaker block. So I can see two breaker blocks in this scenario, in this example. And what can be our target? Our target can be these relative equal highs, right? When I started this recording, I told you, like, when price generates equal high or equal low, it works as a strong level of liquidity for price, right? Price likes to come back to these levels and take it out. So let's see if price closes a candle's body above this breaker block, and let's see if it matches with our time zone, right? We look for this setup in certain time zones, otherwise we do not execute. We look for this setup at 9:20 to 9:30. So let's see what price does. So what do you see here? Price closed a candle's body above the breaker block, right? So we can engage at the second candle, but does our time aligns with the model? No, we still have to wait, and we still have to be patient enough, right? Because just remember that we are building our patience here, and once you become confident enough and experienced enough, you will be able to engage before the macro zone starts. You'll be able to engage with other confirmations like this confirmation. Look at this here. Price offers sell side liquidity here once, then price offers sell side liquidity here again twice, and price also did hit a discount PDA, right? So these are like two confirmations. We also have like equal high here, and price did actually close the candle's body above the breaker block right here, right? So once you become confident enough and experienced enough, you'll be able to take this trade before the macro zone starts. So you can engage at the second candle right here. Now let's see if price closes the candle's body above this breaker block right here, right? So price is just retracing back to this volume imbalance that you see right here. That's a volume imbalance, and let's see if price respects this volume imbalance. And we are also getting close to our macro zone, right? So price did actually close the candle's body above the volume imbalance, and price was aggressively moving towards it. So price did hit our target. Your entry could have been here at this candle right here, and your second hand entry could have been here at this volume imbalance, right? So when I tell you, like, you should wait for a candle's body closure above the breaker block, it does not always have to be like that. You can engage with other confirmation in marketplace if you are experienced enough. But if you are new, if you are a very beginner, like suppose you have only a month of experience or 2 or 3 months of experience, you should not enter like this. You should enter once price closes the candle's body above the breaker block, and once you get experience enough, you will have a lot more wisdom, and you will know what your pair is gonna do. So these are two examples that I showed you, and if you like this model, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I do live stream like most of the days of the week, and I try to look for this setup in certain time zone live. If you are looking for more examples, you can check out my live tape reading sessions, or you can go on my Twitter account and look for other examples. So this was the whole session here. If you like it, I expect a thumbs up from you, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care.